You're Carly Davis and Carly Hoosier, and this is 24 DCCR 1385 and 25 DCCR 1237. And so their state has, we were going to be here on reviewing bond conditions, correct? And then the state has filed a motion to increase the bond.
Yes, Judge.
And is that in both of the cases or just that
In
one?
both cases, Judge.
Let me pull this up. I know I took a look at it last week, but
This one's right.
and so we've got both of these cases are driving while intoxicated, third or more. The first offense date is from May 6th of 2023. The second from February 10th of 2025. Give me just a second here. Well, it's working, it's just working slow.
Here's the legal angle. 2 DWI cases, 2 years apart. Judges look for patterns. This isn't about one bad decision. It's about whether Carly's learned anything from the last 4 DWIs. Spoiler, the court's patience is wearing thin.
So I've got some history with regard to prescriptions. Some of it's obviously very hard to read, but it looks like prescriptions for alprazolam and something called D-amphetamine. Okay. Can't tell the date. One of them specifically says no refills. I can't read the dates on these.
We can get better photos, Judge. She had had that prescription for,
All right, it shows it expires October of this October 31st for the.
Judge, I had a number of questions about those photos myself. I mean, I'm not necessarily, well, I guess I am questioning the validity. This doctor that allegedly prescribed it, this Rajan Desai, there's either an Austin address or a Millburn, Texas address for this doctor. When I looked him up through the Texas Medical Board, and I'm just a little curious about.
So where do you go to the doctor? Where's this doctor from?
From Beaumont, and I do a telemed every month except every 3 months. I go to his office. I have an appointment with him today.
Today?
Yes, ma'am.
Where specifically?
Telemed today.
Oh.
Yes,
Well, here's what I think I'm going to do based on the nature of what these medications are and the history. Well, are you driving? Okay, I don't know if I already did, but a condition of your bond is going to be, as of today, that you are not allowed to drive any vehicle ever, period. Okay, so if you're caught driving, obviously you'll be right back in jail without, probably without a bond. Mr. Coleman, other than a no driving.
Boom. Total driving ban. That's the court saying, we've given chances. Now it's about public safety. When you rack up 5 DWIs, the system stops seeing you as a mistake maker and starts seeing you as a risk.
Is there any other?
You know, Judge, I just would like to reiterate, and we put it in our motion. It sounds like the court's read the motion, but you know, she's got 4 previous DWIs, Judge, and in addition, she picked up this latest DWI while out on bond for a DWI.
Right.
Judge. And that, along with the positive drug test, I think the public safety, the community safety demands some additional assurances.
And Judge, our argument would be that, the DWI itself is for the medications. She's been on these medications for,
Well, it doesn't matter if you're on medication and you're
Right.
taking too much medication, then that's a problem.
sure.
So you can be on these medications and not be.
Also, the failure of the drug test was for these medications.
Right, I understand that. My biggest concern is the fact that if the medications are not being taken properly or too much of the medications, then that's a larger concern with the safety, and I completely understand and agree with Mr. Coleman on that. How'd you get here today? Here's what I want you to do, what I'm going to order you to do. I'm going to order that at your appointment, I'm requiring you to find out and with your doctor, get a prescription for something that is non-narcotic. So something that is not going to cause these issues if in fact our concern is that you are misusing or overusing these medications, then there's other medications that you can take. You need to talk to him today. I want you on your way to be off of both of these medications and not lead to the issues that you're having. Does that make sense? You need to get that information from him, find out what he can prescribe. I want those to Ms. DeLage, and I want her to get those to me. That is a condition of your bond at this point. If you don't do that today at that appointment and get that information to her, then I'm going to, what I'll do today is not rule on Mr. Coleman's motion. So that motion to raise your bond is still out there. And if you don't get this information and you don't get this done today, then your bond will likely be raised and you'll be in jail. Do you understand? All right.
My only question is, the medication to get off of it abruptly can cause.
I understand that. I'm not saying you have to get off of it abruptly. I'm saying I want the plan and how you're going to do it, what it's going to be reduced to, what it's going to take its place, whatever it is. I want that. You need to tell him that you have been ordered to get off the medications, but obviously that needs to be done in a medical way, but I want whatever that plan is and how you're going to do that, and I want that to Ms. DeLay so she can get it to me tomorrow. Okay? All right, y'all are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you're James Lofton,
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Lofton was previously in court. Now, the misdemeanor is something that, remind me, why do I have that
He
on?
was supposed to have pled to his misdemeanor several resets
Right.
ago each time prior to coming down here, because
It's on.
our plan is to have him, we had talked about
To extend
ISF,
probation and ISF.
But now it's for safety if the court considers based on this update PSI, but obviously we can't do that until he pleads to the misdemeanor.
Well, I can do that today, and he can go into custody, and y'all can go
That's what I
take
was
care
just-
of it.
That's what I was just gonna.
Because he'll
say.
sit in custody until he goes and
Correct,
takes
that's-
care of that other case, because he won't go.
correct.
All right. So in cause number 16-24485, first year James Lofton. Mr. Lofton was previously in court, and that is a motion to revoke probation. On probation for the third-degree felony of assault, family violence. It was a 5-year deferred at one point, and then in February of 2020, that probation was revoked and given a 10-year term that was probated for 5 years, so went to a straight probation, placed on high-medium caseload and zero tolerance. I've received the updated pre-sentence report also. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, ma'am.
I have your
Any additions or corrections to that?
No, ma'am, the only thing I would say is since PSI is that we have, this last week, we have gone and taken a drug test at Beaumont Occupational, and my client has, is that, and I have those drug test results if the court would entertain.
I don't that's not going to change
Okay, fair
what I
enough,
do.
fair
Based
enough,
on
yeah.
the nature of that examination and the substance abuse evaluation, I'm going to follow those. I appreciate that he stayed clean for some amount of time.
Yes, ma'am.
But if I'm going to follow, after what I just said with regard to the
Yes,
nature of where we've gone on this, he, looks like there's a new misdemeanor, driving while intoxicated second, and that was from December of 2023. We're just finally getting here, so I'm going to do what's necessary, I think, if I'm going to leave him on probation to keep everybody safe.
Like I said earlier, Mr. Barrington and I had previously discussed after we both reviewed the PSI that safety may very well be
Yeah.
in the best interest.
That's what it appears from that evaluation, and so I mean, I rely on them and their
Yeah.
evaluation to
Yes,
say
ma'am.
what's best and do, and they're talking about the not just the regular safe P, but special needs safe P, so that it covers everything from mental health to drug treatment to everything else that would be necessary, hopefully, for Mr. Lofton to finally be able to complete this probation. In addition, it will be, I will have to, and not just have to, but I will need to extend and plan on extending that probation period as well, because it's up either already or this year, and it's only pending because of the motion. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So anything else with regard to that updated report or with me going forward with sentencing?
No, ma'am, other than the fact that he is working, I have his employer here, if you'd like to hear from them. We would ask that, the recommendation initially was ISF, and we would ask the court to consider ISF and sentencing instead, because he has been working with stable employment with his employer for more than a year and a half now, has had stable housing as far as that goes, and so we feel like that him going to safety would cause, financially devastating for him. And so we would ask that he be allowed to go to ISF and then have more strict monitoring on weekly reporting and weekly drug tests with zero reporting.
Ms. Malfino?
I defer to the court's discretion here, but just my review of the PSI, I think safety is probably convenient.
And so with regard to Ms. Jefferson, you initially also agreed that ISF with being on the high-risk caseload after would be appropriate. Is that your, what are your thoughts?
Yes, that was my initial recommendation. But I also included that I don't know much about his case because he had absconded for, I believe, over 2 years.
Yeah. And it looks like there was tested positive for methamphetamine August 14th, last month, denied using it, but stated he had used a month ago, but tested positive for it.
Notice how the judge zooms out from a single arrest to a pattern of behavior. That's huge legally. Courts treat repeat DWIs differently because repeated offenses suggest the earlier punishments didn't change anything. For prior DWIs plus a new arrest while already on bond, that's exactly the kind of history prosecutors use to argue someone is becoming a danger to the community. Question for you guys: at what point should bonds stop being about freedom and start being about prevention?
I'm trying to see what specifically, why special needs.
I don't believe there was any sort of psychiatric.
I didn't see that either, so I'm
That-
not real sure.
That was kind of what, the only question I had about it was.
I don't
is
think we
Special
need-
needs is generally
It is, if there's
more
some
of a
type,
psychological type situation.
we don't have that, so
We
it's just
don't.
regular. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Mr. Lofton, I am going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 and 2 freely and voluntarily.